And not far from there is the Margery Gallogly Nature Sanctuary in Grand Island. It's not a massive forest, but it's still important to the local ecology. A local organization is making sure it stays preserved for a long time. Terry Belke takes us to the outdoors.
The importance of forests to both our health and the health of the environment cannot be overstated. At 145 acres, the Margery Gallogly Nature Sanctuary in Grand Island is a prime example of a relatively small forest that provides much to the area surrounding it.
Forests like this not only provide recreational services, but they provide what we think of as ecosystem services as well. So they purify water, they provide oxygen, they store carbon, which is a big interest nowadays with climatic change coming upon us.
It's impressive in itself that the forest even exists. Grand Island was heavily logged in the 1800s. The island's forests were essentially clear-cut to provide lumber throughout the Northeast.
So after the island was clear-cut, it was farmed, it was grazed. There wasn't a lot of tree growth for 150 years. You know, if you go back now into the middle 1900s, a lot of those farms started to disappear. People stopped doing agriculture as much, and so some of the trees in the forest started to grow back.
In 2018, the Western New York Land Conservancy acquired the property. Their mission is to conserve ecologically important land for future generations. As a headwater forest, this preserve takes on extra significance.
There's little streams that come out of this forest that end up in the Niagara River. So protecting a forest like this protects those streams, protects that water that comes out of the ground, absorbs water, prevents flooding downstream, filters that water. So if you lose a forest like this, if something like this gets paved or cut, turned into a subdivision or a parking lot, water quality decreases immediately.
With the regeneration of the forest, so too came the return of the pileated woodpecker, North America's largest, and a species thought to be departed from Grand Island since the 1800s.
We have sections of this forest here, which are probably 125, 150 years post-disturbance. So those are beginning to kind of serve as habitat for pileated woodpeckers.
A hike in this preserve is like stepping back in time.
This looks like what it would have looked like 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago. It's really cool, so definitely come here and check it out.
Taking you to the outdoors, I'm Terry Belke.